أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today, inshallah, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to see, inshallah, if we can get some more technological way of doing our daily halaqah. And today I want to, inshallah, remind us all about basically, I'm going to start a mini series on zakah, which is going to help us renew or refresh our knowledge of zakah. They say that it's better to feed, is better instead of feeding a man a fish, if you can teach him how to fish, then this is much better because you have now fed him for life. So inshallah, I always, whenever I teach, I try to help people not be dependent on me or anyone else, but to kind of learn so they could remember that and they could learn the principles so then they can be better informed about the deen. So inshallah, we're going to do a small session on zakah, and I'm going to try to share my screen as well so you can see what is going on here. Okay, so we're going to do zakah workshop part 1, and don't worry, I'm going to make my screen text much bigger that you can see as well. The conditions of zakah. So if you're watching this on a small screen, I hope you can read what I am writing. Let's make it even bigger. Okay, and ideally, if you can watch this on a big screen, then it will be easier for you to remember, inshallah. And of course, you can copy my notes and make your own notes so that next year when time of Ramadan comes, time of zakah comes, you can look up your own notes. When I was a student, when I'm still a student, by the way, and I will always be a student. But when I was a beginning student, I once attended a workshop on zakah, a whole weekend seminar with a very knowledgeable sheikh on zakah. And what I did is that I took my notes and I basically wrote all of my notes and I organized it in one page. One page, and all the conditions of zakah, the recipients of zakah, some important rules about zakah. And I made that one flyer and I actually introduced it to my local masjid, and they were very pleased with it, that it was a lot of good information on one flyer, and they actually printed thousands of copies of it and they distributed it every year for many years to come. So it was just a small little thing that I did, but it was beneficial, so people took it and they ran with it. So inshallah, maybe one of you can make something like that, a quick zakah guide, and it will become a sadaqatul jariyah. And of course, I lost my copy of what I made, except that, alhamdulillah, I still remember this stuff. So what are the conditions of zakah? What is the meaning of zakah actually, even before that? The meaning of zakah is, there are three meanings that are related to zakah. Among them is that it means praiseworthy. Okay, you're going to see my spelling abilities. It also means increase, and it also means purification. And the scholars say that this is the beauty of the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this is the word that Allah chose for zakah, that has all of these meanings within them, and these are the blessings of giving zakah. That the person who gives the zakah, for them it is purification of their wealth, and for giving their zakah, they are praiseworthy, and as a result of giving zakah, they experience Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases their rizq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases their wealth. Now today I just want to talk about the three conditions of of zakah, so that we can remember. Of course, we're trying to make this a mini workshop, so inshallah tomorrow I'll do some more to help us all memorize. The 3 conditions of zakah. Number 1 is Islam, which means that if a person is not Muslim, they do not have to give zakah. If a person is not Muslim, they do not have to give zakah. The second condition of zakah is the Nisaab. And the Nisaab means a minimum threshold. A minimum threshold is that the amount that a person must have, not as income, but as savings or assets, that if a person has that, only then they will have to pay zakah. So most people who are living basically paycheck to paycheck, even if they're earning millions of dollars and they're spending millions of dollars, they're not saving any, they're not investing any, the investments are not giving them any returns. So they do not actually have to pay any zakah at all. They do not have to pay any zakah at all. And subhanAllah, the thing that we learn from this is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourages us to stimulate the economy. To stimulate the economy. You know, right now they have given a stimulus package and they have given people money, the government, and they want people to go and spend that money. Zakat tells us, and this is a praiseworthy, you know, there's tax, there's tax avoidance, and there is tax, what's the word? You know, there's a legal way of avoiding taxes, and there is an illegal way of avoiding taxes. So there's actually a legal way of avoiding zakah, and which is that you invest all your money. Whatever money comes in, you spend it on good things, you can buy things, and of course this third condition, if it's not met, then there's no zakah on that. So what is the minimum threshold that a person must have in order for zakah to be obligatory? So the minimum threshold is at 85 grams of gold, which is about 3 ounces of gold, or 585 grams of silver, whichever is the lower one. So here's a homework for you all. If you can go and look up what is the price of 1 gram of gold, or what is the gram of 3 ounces of gold, or 1 ounce of gold and multiplied by 3, if you can tell me, here's the homework. Okay. The Nisaab in gold, not Nisan, and Nisaab in silver. If you can figure this out and text me that I figured this out, then inshallah that's your homework today, to learn this. Anybody, so I'll give you roughly, let's say that the Nisaab of gold is $10,000. Usually silver's Nisaab is less, so let's say the Nisaab of silver is $2,500. You know that of course that even though there's more grams of silver, the price of silver is a lot less than gold. That's why this is the way. There was one time when these two were equal. That's when the Nisaab was set by the Prophet ﷺ. 85 grams of gold were equal to 585 grams of silver. So in that way, it didn't matter which one you chose to give. But now the scholars say that a person should give the zakah on the lower Nisaab, whichever is the lower amount. So if it's 2,500, then whoever has 2,500 or more in savings, then he needs to give zakah, or she needs to give zakah on that. And of course, I know that everyone is wondering about jewelry. Inshallah, we'll cover jewelry tomorrow. Now, the third condition of zakah, is what's called Hawl in Arabic. Hawaulam. And Hawl means a complete lunar year. Okay, now when we say lunar year, of course, lunar year is just 10 days shorter than the solar year. There is a calculation that you can do, which is basically you pay a slightly more, you basically prorate 10 days if you calculate your zakah every solar year. But a complete lunar year, so that's why, you know, people pay zakah every Ramadan, because now 1 year has passed. So what that means Simply, if a person is Muslim, and let's say the lower price of Nisaab is $2,500. If a person is Muslim and they have $2,500 sitting in a bank account or under their mattress, or they bought some type of asset which is, and it's not something that they use, it's not their personal car, it's not their personal house, it's not the sofa that they sit on, but it is stuff that they bought either as savings, cash savings, or it is some type of asset which they're holding in order to sell at some time and make money. So it's a merchandise, it's a commodity, it's not a personal usage thing. If they have it for 1 year and it is more than the minimum threshold of Nisaab, and they are Muslim, then they have to pay 2.5% of the value of it in zakah. 2.5% of its value in zakah. 2.5%. So for example, if someone had $3,000, in a savings of some type, whichever form it was, then every year they would have to pay 2.5%. And the easy way to remember the calculation is that it is $40 on every thousand. It is $25 on every thousand. So in the case of $3,000, it would be $75 that they have to pay as a minimum of zakah. And that's why zakah can never be a burden on anyone, because it is not given from your income. You're not taking money from your food and giving it away, but you're taking money that has been sitting on the side for a whole year. Only that you have to pay zakah on. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the proper understanding and to help us understand zakah. Inshallah, I will bring you the second episode on the zakah workshop tomorrow at the same time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.